James Comey is being indicted for an Instagram picture he posted of some seashells. Why? Donald Trump fired James Comey in 2017. 9 years later, Comey is facing a federal prosecution involving a photograph of seashells. So how did a feud between a president and an FBI director become a criminal case? To understand what is happening now, we have to go back to the beginning. James Comey became FBI director in 2013, appointed by President Barack Obama. Then came the 2016 presidential election. The FBI was investigating Hillary Clinton's use of private email server while separately investigating Russian interference in the election. Donald Trump won the presidency, and Comey suddenly found himself running an FBI investigation that could potentially affect the new president. In 2017, Comey publicly confirmed that the FBI was investigating possible connections between Russia and members of Trump's campaign. Trump strongly objected. He viewed the Russia investigation as a political attack. Comey saw it as the FBI doing its job. And the relationship between the two men deteriorated quickly. Then on May 9, 2017, Donald Trump fired James Comey. The official explanation focused on Comey's handling of the Hillary Clinton investigation and concerns about his leadership of the FBI. But the timing was explosive. Comey was fired while the FBI was investigating Russian interference in the 2016 election. Days later, Robert Mueller was appointed special counsel to oversee the Russia investigation. Comey would later testify before Congress that Trump had asked him for loyalty and had urged him to let the investigation involving Michael Flynn go. Trump disputed Comey's account, but from that point forward, the two men became political adversaries. Comey eventually wrote a book about his time with Trump. Trump continually attacked him publicly. Then Donald Trump returned to the presidency, and suddenly the old feud had a new chapter. In May 2025, Comey posted a photograph on Instagram. It appeared to show seashells arranged in the sand to form two numbers, 86-47. The number 47 was obvious. Donald Trump was the 47th president, but 86 can mean to remove, reject, or get rid of something. Critics interpreted the photograph as meaning get rid of Trump. Some interpreted it even more seriously as a threat to unalive him. Comey deleted the photograph and said he had not intended it as a threat, but the controversy didn't disappear. In 2025, Comey was indicted on separate charges involving the allegations that he lied to the Congress and obstructed a congressional proceeding. That case was later dismissed after a federal judge ruled that the prosecutor who obtained the indictment had been unlawfully appointed. But that wasn't the end. In 2026, Comey was indicted again. This time, the charges were connected to the 86-47 photograph. Prosecutors argued that the post could reasonably be understood as a serious threat against President Trump. Comey's lawyers strongly disagreed. They argued that 86-47 was not a threat and that the prosecution is politically motivated. And that's where this story gets particularly complicated. Because this isn't simply a case about two numbers. It's about two men who have been on opposite sides of one of the most bitter political battles in modern American history. Trump fired Comey. Comey later testified about Trump's conduct. Trump spent years attacking Comey. And now, during Trump's second presidency, Comey is facing criminal prosecution. That doesn't automatically prove political retaliation, and an indictment does not mean Comey is guilty. But it raises a question that's impossible to ignore. Is this simply a legitimate criminal prosecution, or is it an old political feud being fought through the justice system? That is what the court will ultimately have to determine. Nearly a decade ago, Donald Trump fired James Comey. At the time, few people could have imagined that years later Comey would be standing on the other side of the courtroom from the administration of the same president. The feud began with an FBI investigation. It continued through congressional hearings, books, and years of political attacks. And now it reached a federal criminal case involving two numbers found in the sand, 8647. A photograph that may have seemed insignificant when it was taken has now become the center of a legal battle over presidential threats, free speech, political retaliation, and the power of the federal government. And the question is no longer simply what happened between Donald Trump and James Comey. The question is, where does political revenge end and justice begin? James Comey is presumed innocent unless and until he's proven guilty.